Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're having a good day, being safe and all of the good stuff. We are watching, was the Power Ranger movie really that bad? Just lock into it, let's see if it is or not.
Okay, so the scene starts off with the Red Ranger crawling through a battlefield. He opens up a hatch, takes off his armor and is Walter White. Bro went from selling crystal with Powerplex to being the Red Ranger. That lord goes crazy. He then puts all the Ranger coins inside the hatch, telling them to seek only the worthy and find only the strong. The former.
By the way, I just want to say this though. The Power Ranger movie, I don't think it was horrible. I don't really think it was horrible. I just think I don't know. Like the suits wasn't. Let me see
Green Ranger Rita then pulls up on him, saying they could have ruled the universe together with the Zeo Crystal. But like LeBron going to the Warriors, Zordon's over here saying that trade will never happen. And he calls down a meteor to take out the both of them. Rita falls into the ocean and Zordon dies on the Ranger coins. We then call over to Jason as he's pulling a prank on the school by bringing the cow inside the locker room. And Buddy over here says he milked the cow beforehand, but Jason tells him it's a boy. Oh no. Getting catfished by a cow is insane work.
That's
Buddy thought he was milking Michelle, the whole time he was milking Michael. Anyways, the police pull up, the squad dip out, but Jason ends up crashing a V mid-chase, allowing the police to arrest him. We then fast forward to 3 weeks later, and he now has an ankle monitor on and has to attend detention every Saturday. And his dad is mad as hell. He was about to have scouts at every football game, but he decided he wanted to be a delinquent. John Moran can relate. Jason then walks into the detention, and we see our second main character, Billy, as he's sorting out his pencils. And I can genuinely say this man right here makes the movie 20 times better. Easily my favorite character out of 5 of them. So as Billy's organizing his pencils, one of the bullies gets up, barges into him, causing a bunch of the pencils to drop on the floor. And he gon' pick them up and break him in his face for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, why he do that? What he do that for? What was all that for?
He'll love the game, but as he's about to break the second pencil, Billy intervenes, pushing him out the way. And instead of using his words like a normal person, the bully gets up easily my pencils. And I can genuinely say this man right here makes the movie 20 times better. Easily my favorite character out of 5 of them. So as Billy's organizing his pencils, one of the bullies gets up, barges into him, causing a bunch of the pencils to drop on the floor. And he gon' pick them up and break him.
What does he get this? Like what is he getting out of this? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? What is this? Like,
in his face for absolutely no reason. He'll love the game, but as he's about to break the second pencil, Billy intervenes, pushing him out the way. And instead of using his words like a normal person, the bully instantly goes into attack. Weave, and gives him a dirty slap to the face. And bro just stands there and takes it like a good boy, had him questioning his whole existence. He don't realize there's levels to this, he ain't even try to fight back. Jason then tells him not to come near him or Billy again, and bro immediately complies, he ain't want no smoke. We then fast forward to the end of the detention. Jason walks out and Billy pulls up on him, introducing himself, and he's over here asking Jason if he wants to hang out, talking about some
Tyler, what's up, my man? Do you want to come to my house after school watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
But Jason tells him he's on house arrest and he can't go anywhere past 7. So Billy just decides to tell him the truth that he just needs help getting somewhere, and also says that he knows how to disable the ankle monitor, and when Jason's done helping him, he'll have access to the car for a couple hours. So Jason pulls up to Billy's house, he disables the ankle monitor with literally like 4 seconds left, and Jason drives Billy over to the spot in his mom's car. They then pull up to the spot and Jason leaves Billy because he ain't signed up for no extracurricular activities. Had him carrying a crate around for mad long, looking like when your dad asks you to help him for 5 minutes and the next thing you know, you've been doing hard labor for 6 hours. We then see some guy still on top of a building, spying on the girl, hitting poses like she's gonna be the next Dragon Warrior. Jason arrives back at the V but decides to head back because he feels bad for leaving Billy alone by himself. He ends up getting lost in the woods and sees Kimberly, one of the girls that was in detention with him. And I'm not gonna lie, this is fine shit. Type of girl I'll put out a boombox for, stand in front of her crib and confess my love. Nothing less. Anyway, she takes off her clothes, jumps into the water and doesn't resurface. So Jason gets worried and goes to jump in after her, but she pulls up behind him looking like Obito. They start chopping it up with Jason using all the Riz lessons.
How'd she do that? Bitch teleporting? Ain't no
He
way.
learned from me, and we go over to Billy as he's setting up explosives to blow up half the mountain. He blows it up, sending him flying back. Kimberly and Jason hear it running over, and Buddy from earlier also pulls up asking Billy what the hell he's doing. Jason breaks them up. The Dragon Warrior girl also pulls up, saying this is a restricted area. They all start arguing, and the rock eventually breaks apart, causing her to fall back down to the ground and everyone else to drop down to the floor. The rubble then clears. They get up and see some weird black glass. They all walk over to it and just look at Jason's face. He's had enough of all this weird stuff. Stranger Things has already traumatized him. He's trying to go back home and live a normal life. They then see all the Ranger coins inside the black glass, and Buddy over here ain't waste no time. He immediately picks up a pickaxe and starts chipping away. He eventually takes out all the coins and each of them pick up their respective one. Jason takes the red, Billy with the blue, Kimberly with the pink, Zach with the black, and Trini with the yellow. And Zach's over here saying that we found it, like he wasn't shouting at Billy 5 seconds ago. Type of guy to see you win the lottery and say we're rich. Security then pulls up, so the squad decide to dip out. Jason and Billy hop in the V driving off, but decide to spin back to get the rest of the guys. Jason hits the most disgusting gif like he's Lightning McQueen, peeps Kimberly and Trini running, and tells Billy to drive the car so he can pull them in. Jason opens the door and he's over here smiling like this is a game, like he's not in a high-speed chase running away from security in a restricted area. Buddy needs to get his priorities straight because there's no way he's having fun. They then pull up on Kimberly and Trini. Jason pulls them in and Billy's over here asking if they should get the other guy. Nope. Telling Billy to just keep driving on. Damn, they really couldn't care any less about bro. To be fair, he is a random. They didn't get out the restricted area and see that the only real way out is past the train tracks and the train is coming. We didn't see Zach running and bro jumps on top of a moving car. This nigga is crazy. And Jason pulls him in mad as hell, knowing he did not want him there. Billy then floors it, trying to make it past the crossing before the train comes. And I have no idea why they're still doing this. I don't even think security is even chasing them anymore. They could deadass stop, let the train pass and continue on their way. Like trying to bag fine shit in 2025, this is high risk and very low reward. They didn't pull up to the crossing thinking they're gonna make it and just get absolutely decimated by the train. I don't know what they were thinking. They're in a car that goes 0 to 60 in 25 minutes. So the car gets smashed up and we call over to Jason's dad as he's fishing. They pull in their last haul of the day and end up finding a woman's body amongst the fish. And I'm not gonna lie, I would have threw it straight back into the ocean. The fact it's not fully decayed is red flag number 1. Oh yeah, you gotta go. We then cut back to Jason as he's waking up in his room like nothing happened. Injuries are all healed up and the Red Ranger coin is still in his pocket. And the same thing happened with both Kimberly and Billy, and I'm guessing the other two as well, even though we don't see it. And they all display superhuman feats of strength, with Billy breaking the door, Jason breaking the sink, and Kimberly breaking her phone. Billy then goes to school and the bully pulls up on him to get his get back, trying to break his wrist. It doesn't work, so he tries to go in for a headbutt instead, but ends up knocking himself out in the process. The whole school sees this and suddenly Billy's now the head honcho. Girls are trying to talk to him and he's over here telling the story in a completely different way, looking like guys after the slightest interaction with a girl. She could ask for a pen and certain guys will get on the phone talking about she was all over him. Gang, relax, you're gonna get some. Anyways, they all link up, realize they're going through the same thing and decide to make a plan to go back to the spot to investigate. We then cut back to
I ain't gonna lie to you, he's on fraud watch.
Jason's dad as he's bringing the police onto the boat to investigate the body. The policeman goes down, sees the body, and Rita hits him with a jump scare. Jason, Billy, and Kimberly then pull her back to the spot and see that Zach's already there. They then see Trini and she starts running away for no reason. Zach and Kimberly then chase after her and Trini ends up stopping because she's met with a whole canyon. Jason and Billy then pull up and the whole squad is over here thinking they got her. No. She decides to jump over the whole canyon and actually makes it. Zach then does the exact same thing and makes it. Then Jason and Kimberly make it too, but Billy's over here stressing. He don't know what to do. He eventually builds up enough courage to take the jump and barely makes it, slapping against the edge. And I just know that her bro's about to be winded for 5 days straight. Billy then stands up and starts celebrating a bit too early, still standing on the edge, causing him to fall back. And the whole squad thinks he's cooked. Just look at Jason's face. He's over here in distraught. But Billy shouts for them to calm down and Zach ain't waste no time. He immediately jumps off the cliff. Type of guy who's down with anything. The rest of the squad then jump and they land in some water. While in the water, they all start to glow their respective colors and Zach's over here saying that he's black. What do you mean by that? Even Billy's over here confused. They all then dive down and Billy peeps at the water beneath them, stops at a certain point. They fall through and end up trapped in a cave and now they have no other option but to explore. I know cave divers will be geeked right now. They be doing this for the love of the game. Be putting themselves through life-threatening danger just to say they entered a random cave called Diddy's Dungeon. Anyways, while exploring, they end up finding a massive alien ship inside the cave. The door opens up for them and they go inside to investigate. And while investigating, the ship starts to act up, changing its whole interior design, even closing up the stairs. So the squad run off to hide. Trini randomly gets pulled by this weird looking robot. Zack goes to help but gets flung
Oh,
across the
forgot the
hallway.
name.
The rest of the squad then pull up, telling the little robot that he won't get boomed. It's a 5v1 and they will not play fair. But the little robot tells him he's been waiting for them for 65 million years and they finally arrive with the Ranger coins. He then tells them to turn around and they're met with a huge room with 5 different platforms in a circle. They then walk down the stairs and like everyone that enters Diddy's house the whole time they're plotting their escape. Billy then asks the robot who he is and he says his name's Alpha 5 and tells them all to hop on
There
the
you go.
platforms. Billy then hops on the platform followed by Zack cause you know he's with anything. The rest of them then hop on the platform and the ship immediately starts tweaking, with the previous Red Ranger Zordon waking up inside the ship. Alpha 5 then tells Zordon that he sealed his essence inside the ship before he died, and the squad is over here trying to make a run for it. They pull up to the door but it closes on them like it's Five Nights at R. Kelly's. Alpha 5 then tells them to come back and Zordon tells them to show him the Ranger coins. They show it to him and he says the morphing grid is never wrong, so if these teenagers brought back the coins they are now the
Now y'all the Power Rangers crazy.
Zordon then explains to the squad that
I'm locked in right now because this is actually interesting. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. I haven't seen this movie in such a long time, so it's actually good to get a recap. But I'm just really locked in for real. Like, don't forget to tell me what y'all think in the comments down below. But right now, it's not bad. It's not bad right now. It's not a bad movie. The way they was the way they met was interesting, cause like, do have explosives? Where did he get the explosives from? And so like, did they all like text each other and say, "Oh, let's meet up here"? Cause like, why did she start trying to run away from them? But other than that, you know, it's not looking bad.
every planet in the universe that has life has a piece of the Zeo crystal buried inside of it. And 65 years ago, Zordon's squad died protecting the crystal here on Earth. And now the Queens have chosen them 5 to protect the crystal. Kimberly then starts yapping away about how she has a wedgie. And suddenly I remembered I got a master's degree in wedgies. Kimberly, hit my phone anytime I can help you out with that. Zordon then hits them with the quiet and decides to show them what's gonna happen if they don't take on their roles as Power Rangers. They about to be tortured by Rita's hot breath. They then come out the dream and Zordon explains to them that the woman they saw is Rita. She's looking to create Goldar, take out the crystal and use it to destroy all life on Earth. And they only have 11 days to train and stop her. Trini then realizes that if they're the Power Rangers and this is their ship, they can leave whenever they want. So the whole squad dips out. But before Jason can leave, Zordon tells him that he's the leader of the squad, the Red Ranger, and says that Rita used to be a Ranger herself and his friend, but betrayed them because she wanted more power. He then tells Jason that he needs to bring all of them back and train them up to defeat Rita before she can find the crystal. Jason then goes to leave, saying that he doesn't speak for all of them, but Zordon tells him that he knows he's right and this needs to be done. So Jason pulls back up on the squad, tells him this cannot be a coincidence, and says he's gonna pull back up at 4 p.m. the next day to see if he can get some answers. And if they want to be here, they can pull up, and if they don't, it is what it is. They all then leave. We fast forward to the next day, and like, guys, here when there's gonna be snow bunnies at the function, they all pull up. So the squad pull up to the ship, and Zordon says to assume their Ranger identities, they're all gonna have to morph. They all then step onto the platforms, and Zordon explains that by standing here together, they can easily access the morphing grid, which will allow them to put on their armor. And Billy's over here just like me, he's geeked as hell. They about to walk around the spot in their armor like a boss. They then start the morphing process and absolutely fail. So Zordon tells Alpha 5 to take them down to the pit to train without their armor because they have no time. We then go through a whole training montage of them getting better and better over time. They over here learning how to suplex. I didn't know this was WWE. And during their training, they're still trying to learn how to morph, but like girls trying to take accountability, they're failing miserably. Alpha 5 then introduces them to the Zords, and I'm not gonna lie, as we see from later on, these are very tough. But he tells them they're not ready for the Zords yet because they haven't morphed, and tells them to go back to training. But Zach's over here talking about some, I'm gonna do my own thing. He jumps in his Zord, smashes through the mountain, and cause he can't control it, he almost crashes into a car full of nuns, and then crashes back into the cave. And bro gonna jump out and have the pure audacity to think this is a game, pushing Jason out the way. But Jason pulls him back, hits him with a right, and Zach hits him with one bag, and they just start going at it. Billy then goes to separate them and ends up accidentally morphing in the process. Had the whole squad in absolute shock. And I'm not gonna lie, these suits are low-key tough. Better than
I was about to say the exact same shit. Crazy.
whatever that Max Steel movie was trying to do. But Billy demorphs and Zordon tells all of them to get out, cause even though he did it once, none of them can do it again. Had me thinking this was Blue Lock trying to recreate goals. The squad then leave but decide to stay on the mountain overnight just to chill. And I wanna know where these guys' parents are at. My mum would have hit me with the backhand of doom just for going somewhere without telling her. And they over here casually staying on a mountain overnight without telling a single soul. That's just crazy to me. Anyways, Jason stays back and ends up overhearing Zordon and Alpha 5 saying that the only reason they want them to morph is so that Zordon can harness the energy and bring himself back to life so he can take on Rita himself. Damn, bro ain't have no faith in the squad. Jason
But he said, I got no faith in y'all.
pulls up on him and basically tells him that his team was whack and they already failed, so he better have faith in the new squad. We then cut to Rita as she's stealing gold from a jewelry shop. A police officer pulls up on her, blams her, but she wakes up, slaps her ranger coin inside her stuff, and creates some rock monster to take out the policeman. We then pan back over to the squad as they're around the campfire. Jason pulls up on them and Zach realizes that the reason they may not be able to morph is because they barely know each other. So they all bond together by spewing their secrets, except from Kimberly. They all then go home that night, and as Dee Dee is sleeping, she ends up getting woken up by Rita drooling on her like a dog. They get into a tussle and Rita basically tells Dee Dee that if she wants her life to be spared, she's gonna have to find out where the crystal is and bring the information to her that same night. But instead of being a traitor, she gathers the whole squad up and tells them what happened. And I wish more characters would do this. They be harboring secrets for no.
I agree. It'd be so annoying. They get beat up, they get tossed and shit, and then they walk off. And then they hide that. Tell the gang what happened, buddy. The fuck? Our enemy just whooped your ass. You not gonna say nothing? Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I just get my ass beat by her. I ain't gonna lie to you. Gotta get my get back. Come on, squad. I ain't doing it by myself. I got my ass beat. Ain't doing it again. I'm gonna jump that bitch. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. We got to get the squad on her. Ain't no way we get my ass beat like that again.
No reason. Like, bro, is it that hard to be loyal? Jason then hits them with the Captain Irwin speech, saying they should go after Rita, and reveals to them what Zordon's plans were for when they morphed. They all then get in favor of the ambush and put up on Rita on the docks, and they over here picking up any weapon they can find. They know they about to jump her ass. They peep Rita sitting down on a chair and run up getting ready to hit her with a sneak attack of doom, but it's just a random guy. Rita pulls her from above, slamming down onto the ground, sending everyone flying back, and she absolutely crushes Buddy over here, and I'm like, damn, he ain't have no part in this. Could've just untied him and let him leave. The squad then rush to jump her but get taken out in typical Power Rangers fashion, hitting extra flips for no reason. She then ties them all up onto a boat, pulls up on Jason with her hot breath, so Jason hits her with a headbutt to get her to back up. She then starts to ask the squad where the crystal is and says that one of them already knows. And we find out that Billy already found the crystal and tracked it down to underneath her Krispy Kremes. Rita then threatens Zach's life to get Billy to tell her where the Xeno crystal is, and after getting the information she wants, she ends up dropping Billy down into the water anyways. And I'm guessing she has some type of heart, cause she drops down the others, allowing them to untie themselves and pull Billy out. See, if I was a villain, I would have left them up there to guarantee they can't foil my plans. Either she's an idiot or still has some type of heart. They then pull Billy out the water, try to resuscitate him, but it's too late. He's already dead. Man, on my first watch, I couldn't believe this. I was in my living room crashing out. He was the best part of the movie. Anyways, they all then pick him up and bring him over to Zordon, asking if there's anything he can do. And just imagine how they looked walking down the street carrying around a body. They must have got the craziest looks. But Zordon says there's nothing he can do. It's already too late, and Jason's over here blaming himself, cause he was the one that pushed the idea of them going to attack Rita. They all then have the realization that Billy sacrificed his life for theirs, and they would do the same thing for anyone else on the squad. And out of nowhere, the morphing grid ends up opening up, and Alpha 5 tells Zordon to go free so he can come back to life. Zordon starts glitching out like he's Mario Judah. The lights turn off, but he pulls back up still inside the ship, and says that only one can come back through the morphing grid, bringing Billy back to life. This shit means something to me, man. Jason then thanks Zordon, and Zordon tells him there can only be one Red Ranger, and this is Jason's team. We then get this emotional moment where everyone welcomes Billy back, and Jason and Billy hug it out. And I really messed with how they did Jason and Billy's friendship throughout this movie. Made it as though Jason's Billy's big brother, and he helps him out and makes sure he's okay in every single situation, as we see throughout the whole movie where Jason backs Billy every time Billy gets in trouble. Anyways, they all then try to go morph again, cause Rita now knows where the crystal is.
I agree. I do love the the way they did the characters for those two. Love it. Ain't gonna lie to you. The movie seemed pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. The movie seemed pretty good, but we
And
need to keep
Jason
on
hits the
watching.
infamous line, "It's morphin' time." So you already know this about to work. They start the process and we get hit with one of the cleanest group transformations I've ever seen in my whole life. I wanna know how people hate on this movie. I've been geeked this whole time. The lights then flicker and we just see them walking out in their suits trying
Oh,
to
that shit look
overfarm. Even though
badass.
there's no one around, this is absolutely necessary. And I
I fucking love he said that. I fucking love it. He said, "I know no one's around, but this is absolutely necessary." I fucking love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love it. Because ain't no way. That's what. Like, I'm not gonna lie to the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but what I'm seeing here, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I probably had some dislikes about it myself. I'll be honest with you. Knowing me and my love for the Power Ranger series and stuff like that, I probably had some dislikes to it. But to be honest with you, my overall to it, I think it's good. I think it's a good, solid movie. I don't think mostly my dislike is probably because it's too short. That's what comes down to most of this stuff when it comes to movies. Is like if it's like a movie for a show or like something, it always becomes like, damn, they didn't add something I wanted them to add into it. So I feel like it drops points just because of that. But I won't say it's a bad movie just because they didn't add what I wanted them to add into it.
kid you not, they were doing this for 30 seconds and I can't even blame them. I'll be doing the same thing after getting a fresh car, going down to the local gas station just to purely show it off. We then cut to Rita as she's
Crazy.
just outside the base. She creates a rock army and starts the creation of Golda, and the rock army is over here cave diving, falling into the water. But the Rangers jump up and are already hitting elite level battle formations. When the hell did they train this? They eventually beat all the
Shit, I
monsters
don't know.
inside the water, jump out and hit the perfect Power Ranger superhero landing, and get straight back to boxing.
Ooh.
Trini hits a knee to the chest, taking out two of them. Kimberly with the Fortnite slide, and Jason's over here hitting the cleanest hurdle like he's running away from the police. Creates his sword, slices Bo in the face, and Zack
Crazy.
finishes it off. And Billy's over here having the time of his life. He flips over all of them and hits a three-piece kick on one of the rocks. And at this point, they all just going stupid. Give me your head, backflip into an elbow, taking the both of them out. But while this is
Ain't gonna lie to you, that's peak cinema. Peak cinema. But I do want to say this too. Is I thought about it as well. Is like I liked how they did this with the fighting and stuff. But now when I think about it, they haven't done movies like this. Like they keep it in the same old like type of style to it a little bit, but they did change it and upgrade it a little bit. But the story of Power Rangers is not as good as it used to be. You know what I mean? It's not as drawn. I'm not as drawn into the new Power Rangers as I was back then, and I still do love those like the old Power Ranger series. It was more entertaining with Power Ranger in space, with Dino Force and getting gear and what's it called and the 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 animal one with the tigers and lions Power Ranger one. I forgot what it was called. It was Jungle Force. I think Jungle Force it was called. I think it was Jungle Force. I like that one. The Samurai one. I don't remember all the names for the series. I'm sorry if y'all gonna get upset with me with that one, but I don't remember all the names of the series. But I really love the old Power Ranger stuff, but I just don't really like the story, I guess, or like I don't know if it's a story or just the villains or something like that. It doesn't feel as good. as it was back then.
This is going on, we go over to Rita and she's finished building Goldar and they just walk off together. The squad then realize that the Stone Army is never ending, so Zack just jumps off the cliff with a plan. And he gonna pull back up with his Zord that he can now control with his suit. He takes out all the monsters, the squad starts to celebrate, but Billy peeps that Rita's walking off with Goldar. And he's over here making the same face you make when you realize your goal is going. Hey, it happens to the best of us, not me though, stay safe.
True.
They all then jump in their morphs to chase after Goldar and they play the Go Go Power Rangers soundtrack. This was so peak, it can make a grown man cry. They then pull up to the town to see Goldar the
Yeah, the Megazords look fire. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Megazords look fire.
in it looking for the Krispy Kremes, and Jason comes up with a plan, telling Dee Dee and Kimberly to go after Rita, Zack and Billy to secure Krispy Kremes, and he'll go straight after Goldar. Bro's a licensed group leader, they can't even say anything cause he's literally the Red Ranger. Kimberly then activates her blasters, shoots at Rita and hits everything but her. Almost took out.
Ain't no way your aim is that bad. Stormtrooper aim. Stormtrooper aim, buddy. I can't fucking believe it. But right now, from what I've seen and what I'm getting from here, I'm gonna rewatch the movie just to make sure. But definitely like an 8 out of 10, probably a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, somewhere around there.
Body over here for nothing. Rita then creates a Stone Army to terrorize the town and the squad get to taking them out, with Jason picking up Buddy's Camaro to take out a few of them. And I know Buddy's mad as hell, I would be too. At least take out the main guy with my car instead of these bum ass rocks. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as this is over, I'm calling Saul and I'm instantly suing. A bunch of the monsters then jump on Jason, Kimberly shoots them off, and while this is going on, Rita ends up finding the Krispy Kremes, and she gon' go in to have a donut. Yeah, I can't even blame her, they do be bussin'. Goldar then smashes into the Krispy Kremes, but Jason and Dee Dee pull up, jumping on him, stopping him from going any further. But Goldar throws them both off, and Kimberly pulls out thinking she's gonna do something, just to get swatted back down like she's Oliver versus Conquest. But some of the melted gold on Goldar ends up falling onto Jason's dad's car, causing it to burn up, and he eventually tips over. Jason sees this, jumps out of his Zord going to help, pulls up on the car telling him to take his hand. But his dad is over here shook, looking like he just saw Travis Scott's Batman costume. I wouldn't take his hand either. But Jason eventually gains his trust and his dad grabs his hand. He then puts him down and runs back over to fight. We then cut back to the battle. Kimberly picks up Billy and throws him through Goldar. And Billy then smashes through him, pressing a button, sending a massive shockwave out, setting both Goldar and Rita on their ass. And Rita dies because even the stone monsters start to disintegrate. And on my first watch, I was thinking there's no way it's already over. It was really that easy. This must be how girls feel after doing the deed, because there's no way it was done that quick. And the whole team is over here celebrating, thinking they won. But Goldar melts himself, grabs her and picks up her reboot card, bringing her back to life. She gets up, grabs her stuff, and Goldar smashes into the ground, revealing the Zeo crystal. The squad then created a defensive line in front of the crystal, protecting it, and starts shooting at Goldar. But Goldar hits Jason with the 1, 2, and the hammer of doom, sitting him down. Kimberly then pulls up, picking up Jason to shoot at Goldar again, but he hits her with that fireball jutsu, causing her whole Zord to burn up. And she gonna try leave, thinking she can fly away, but Goldar's over here talking about there's no way out of this one. You're done. And hits her straight back down onto Jason. Goldar then starts to push him down into the hole, and thinking they're all cooked, they all start to get sentimental, looking like that one scene in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Goldar eventually pushes them all into the fiery hole, and while they're down there, all the Zords start to transform, and they gon' pop back out the hole as the Megazord. And bro, is that Optimus Prime? They must.
I thought that in my head too. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way I thought that in my head. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Inspiration. Loki took his whole flow word for word, bar for bar. Rita sees this and decides to merge with Goldar to make the fight more fair. And I don't know why they're standing around allowing her to transform. Then Eren Yeager teach us a valuable lesson. By the words of J. Cole, I would have rushed in fast like 911 in white neighborhoods. Anyways, they finish transforming and the squad finally decide to charge in, but end up falling straight away because they have no idea how to control the Megazord. They then realize that each of them are different body parts, so they have to work together to fight. Kimberly and Trini then pick them up and they charge in at Goldar. They get grabbed, Zack catches them and Trini hits him with a right. Goldar hits them with one back, but Kimberly follows up with a left hook just to get hit with a two-piece back. Billy then kicks Goldar away, and Bro's now had enough of the box and he pulls out a whole sword. Goldar then charges in, but the squad
pulling out the blade is crazy. He started getting dogged on. He said, "Ooh, I gotta pull
use
the
move they learned from training. Weave, grab him from behind and hit him with the dirtiest suplex known to mankind. Turned his whole body into a C. They then
ain't no fucking way we suplexing our villains today. Hey, this is definitely built different, but we over here suplexing
pull out
villains.
their swords and stab Goldar, winning the fight. And Rita go have the audacity to come out of Goldar and tell him to wait. Wait, get a load of this guy. She then
Crazy.
says more will come for the crystal and that team will not last. But Jason tells her to hand over her staff and her ranger coin and let Zordon be the judge. This then gets her riled up and she charges in to attack. But Jason
Ain't no
slaps
way.
her out of orbit, causing her to freeze up, out here looking like Team Rocket. Basically hitting her with the same slap he hit the Billy with at the start of the movie. Billy then hits a celebratory dance and this basically closes off the movie. Now final reviews, this movie is way too overhated. I thought this was absolute peak. The only nitpick I could possibly see is that all the characters weren't fleshed out enough. But that's what the second movie would have been for. We even got teased Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, as the end credit scene. You already know that movie would have been tough. Anyways, I'ma have to rate this movie a cool 8 out of 10.
That's why I said. That's why I said. I said it's like an 8. It's like an 8 out of 10, a 7 out of 10, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's definitely that's how the movie is to me too. It's like an 8 out of 10 to 7 out of 10, somewhere around there. Cause like I'm still not 100% because I want to rewatch it myself. But yeah, 1,000% somewhere around there. Definitely give me your thoughts on the movie inside of the comments down below. Um, and tell me what did you, if you seen the movie, what did you think about it as well? Um, Other than that, I thank you very much for watching this with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, the sub, and the video will be linked in the description down below. Much love to all y'all. Be safe. God bless.